What's up, everybody? It's the Alex Leak and Friends NFL podcast back for another week. I'm your host, Alex Leak. We got Dustin on the show. What's up, Dustin?
Oh man, thanks for having me.
Yeah, good to have you back on. This is the week 2, 2020 season. Detroit Lions at the Green Bay Packers episode. The 0-1 Lions at the 1-0 Packers. A lot of injuries coming into this game. The Packers, no defensive tackle Kenny Clark and no right tackle Lane Taylor. For the Lions, no Kenny Galladay, no Vaitai, no Nick Williams, and 2 corners out, Desmond Trufant and Justin Coleman. Coming into this game, I mean, you're going into Lambeau without 2 starting corners. That's not a good recipe. Did you give the Lions any chance to go into Lambeau and steal this win?
No, especially not after week 1, seeing that big collapse. I
Yeah.
thought they still have a hangover because when you go from Trubisky to Rodgers, it's going to be even worse.
Yeah. And based on your perspective from an outsider looking in, do you think it's time the Lions move on from head coach Matt Patricia?
I'd say wait till the end of the season because it's never good to fire a coach in the middle of the season.
Yeah. There's a lot of Lion fans talking about wanting to fire him
I mean, at this point in time, Jim Caldwell had a better record than what Patricia has had, and they let him go.
A lot better, too. Yeah, it wasn't even that close. Patricia's record is awful, especially in division. So, a lot of injuries coming in. Not many people giving the Lions much of a shot. But some good news for them was their number 3 overall pick in this year's draft, corner Jeff Okudah, was making his NFL debut. But a tough way to start your NFL debut against Aaron Rodgers in Lambeau.
Yeah, it's that's probably not the game that you wanted to start your NFL career against, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't choose that. Gotta do what you gotta do. Gotta line up against the opponent you're given. Coming into this game, tell me if this stat surprises you. Lions quarterback Matthew Stafford going into this game had the most career passing yards versus the Green Bay Packers all time with 5,186 and was tied for the most passing touchdowns all time with Johnny Unitas at 34. Does that stat surprise you?
No, Matthew Stafford, I've always been high on him. Mm-hmm. It's just unfortunately he plays for a team that is probably never gonna have or ever win a championship.
Yeah, he's in a tough spot.
And unfortunately, he's committed to staying in Detroit. So
yeah, that's gonna make Lion fan happy, but sucks to be Stafford at times for sure.
Yeah.
Opening drive, Stafford fires a 29-yard pass to tight end T.J. Hawkinson. T.J. breaks multiple tackles and gets into Packers territory. What's your thoughts on T.J. Hawkinson? I mean, he's a big tight end, hard to bring down. He's living up to like that mini Gronk nickname.
Yeah, from the games that I've watched him play, he's definitely a playmaker, a big tight end, strong, and is a great, open field runner. Can get you yards after catch.
Yeah, he's a beast and should be part of their future for a long time. Packers linebackers Adarius Smith brings down Kerryon Johnson in the backfield, but's called for a 15-yard face mask penalty. Big mistake early on. And Kerryon Johnson rushes in for a 1-yard touchdown on the opening drive to give the Lions a 7-0 lead. Looking early on with the Packers not having Kenny Clark out there, the Lions seem to be running the ball on Green Bay pretty well and get out to a 7-0 lead. You think the Lions should have maybe stuck with that run game more often in this game? And, I mean, same goes for the Bears game. I think the Lions should have stuck with the run game a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, the Lions definitely have 2 backs that can get you the yardage and, move the ball. And and not only that, but, being conservative and running the football also opens up the play-action game for Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, and keeps the defense rested, keeps the defense off the field. Kerryon Johnson does the Lambeau leap after scoring the touchdown, but no fans there to greet him. I doubt he would be doing that if all the fans were
there. Yeah.
there. Definitely interesting to see a Lambeau leap with no fans, though.
Yeah, it's different.
Packers' first play of the game is a handoff on offense is a handoff to Aaron Jones, who goes for 12 yards and a first down. Packers were getting a lot out of the running game. 15-yard pass from Rodgers to Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Rodgers hits tight end Robert Tonyan in the hands, but Tonyan unable to complete the catch, forcing a 4th and 6. Good defensive play by Lions safety Tracy Walker. Packers head coach Matt LaFleur decides to go for it on 4th and 6 from the Lions' 42-yard line. I would have punted it here and pinned Detroit deep, but a Rodgers pass to Allen Lazard is complete for 10 yards and a first down. Can't hit it if it works, and the Packers being aggressive early, not really respecting the Lions' defense. You like the call against a depleted secondary to be aggressive early and try and get points on the board?
Oh, yeah. I mean, anytime you have, Aaron Rodgers at quarterback and you know that the defense is without their two, cornerbacks, and you're able to spread the field and, of course, be aggressive. Why not?
Yeah, I agree. I agree if it works for sure. On 3rd and 3, Rodgers takes a shot into the end zone, but Aaron Jones unable to make the catch. Packers forced to settle for a field goal, and Crosby hits the 43-yarder. So 7-3 Detroit early. Adrian Peterson goes for 25 yards and sets up a 1st and goal. How surprised are you at how Adrian Peterson is still running so effectively at this age?
Yeah, man. I mean, a lot of people are surprised, but they shouldn't be surprised. Adrian Peterson is a workhorse and always has been.
Yeah, and you notice it really well in these years about how well he takes care of himself. Like, he's always been a running back that takes a lot of abuse, a lot of hits, a lot of pounding, and yet he takes such good care of himself that he's still able to be pretty effective all these years later.
But didn't he also have like a year or two off from injury, and then that whole scandal where he got like that abuse or something on his child?
Yeah, I know he was out for a year with a torn ACL. I don't think he was out that whole year for that issue. I'm not sure, but that's a good point. I mean, he also came back off a torn ACL and is still doing this, so he's very durable. And I wanted the Bears to sign AP, so it makes me upset seeing him still doing pretty well for Detroit. Stafford 4-yard touchdown pass to Marvin Jones, and just like that, the Lions are up 14-3 early in this game. Stafford's pass puts him ahead of Johnny Unitas for most career touchdown passes against the Packers. But most importantly, through one quarter, the Lions up 11 points on Green Bay. Pretty surprising.
Yeah, that's like Lions though. They usually always start off quick, and then they run out of gas really, really early.
Yeah. I don't know what's leading to that, but they got to stop giving up these leads.
Maybe it's conditioning, or they're just not they get too big-headed and think, hey, we're up by, 11 or 14. This game's over, but you just can't think like that. You have to keep your foot on the gas pedal.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what someone was saying. They're like, you don't get in trouble for running the score up. You don't have to apologize for running the score up in the NFL. You do it to keep the lead and to keep the pressure on your opponent.
It's hard to keep the lead in the NFL nowadays.
Yeah, it is. Momentum's a big thing, and points come often. Rodgers' 7-yard touchdown pass to Aaron Jones cuts it down to 14-10. And then the Lions were moving down the field again, but an unnecessary roughness call on Lions guard Ode Abushi forces 3rd and 25 and ends the drive. A big issue with the Lions so far in 2020 is penalties and mental mistakes are killing Detroit's chances. Do you agree with that? And I think that if you go into penalties and mental mistakes, that's on coaching to have your players playing smart and ready to go. I put the blame for that right on Matt Patricia.
Yeah, I mean, of course, it's down to the coaching. It's about, getting the players focused and just obviously there's something not going right that they don't have discipline.
Yeah. Yep. It's got to be, it falls right on the shoulders of Matt Patricia, and there's got to be some form of a lack of leadership there.
And that surprises me with him coaching under Bill Belichick, man. I'm surprised.
Yeah. But, I mean, I don't know. For whatever reason, that seems to happen I don't know if it happens with Belichick disciples more than anybody else, but they don't have the same success that they had in New England. It almost never translates to the new city, new team. So I don't know what is to blame with that. Maybe Bill Belichick is setting him up. I don't know, but Stafford gets sacked on his own 1 yard line by Zadarius Smith. Back-to-back penalties on Lions safety Will Harris, unnecessary roughness, and then a horse collar tackle. I mean, just mental mistakes throughout the game. That's on Stafford getting sacked at his own 1 yard line. You got to get the ball out, not take that very close to a safety. Rodgers' 11-yard touchdown pass to tight end Robert Tonyan, and the Packers take a 17-14 lead to end the first half. I talked about this last week. Scoring right before halftime, what you do right before halftime and right after halftime can affect the outcome of games a lot these days. Like, you play it right, and you know how you get to choose who returns the ball and who kicks off, at the beginning of the game. Well, right before halftime, if you play it right, you can get a double possession out of that. And the Packers played it perfectly. They go from down 4, take a 3-point lead in the halftime, and then come out to start the second half and go get another touchdown right away. And just like that, it's a 14-point swing. The Packers one of the best teams in football at that.
Yeah, I mean, you never want to give Aaron Rodgers and the Packers a double possession, but I mean, I don't know, man. It's just a lot of struggles going on right now in Detroit, man.
Yeah. So down 17-14. Matt Prater attempts a 57-yard field goal to end the half. That would have tied the game, but he can't hit that. So we've seen Prater miss a couple field goals now to start the year. They have been long ones, but still, the Prater that I've known for a few years is making those kicks. So not a good sign for the Lions fans if Matt Prater starts missing kicks.
Yeah, and which surprised me because Matt Prater was once one of the best kickers in the NFL. So
yeah, I still think he's pretty good, but he was having a hard time making these. So
I mean, it's still kicking this season. There hasn't been that many kickers that have, been great kickers so far.
yeah, yep. So 17-14 at halftime, Green Bay. The Lions have to be, I think the Lions felt like they played a pretty good first half and had to be kind of upset to be down at halftime. So it's, Patricia going to halftime, make some adjustments, come out, see how you do in the second half. At halftime, Patricia was asked how he felt, and he said that he was proud of his squad, saying it's important to show this Packers offense that his defense is not giving up despite being down 3 starters today. That's kind of a weird, interesting quote to me. It sounds to me as though when he says that, Patricia is using the injuries as an excuse. I think you want better leadership from your head coach to be like, look, we use a next man up type of mindset. There are no excuses, and we got to slow down this great Packers offense. It doesn't sound great when Patricia is using injuries as an excuse coming out of the halftime.
Yeah, it don't sound great, and I mean, he just. I don't really know what to say about that, man. he just don't know how to make adjustments, I guess.
Yeah, doesn't know how to make adjustments. And so to me, it's pretty simple. And I've been saying this for a while. There's the coaches in the NFL, there's not a lot of coaches that can do both. You're either a coordinator and a coordinator only, or you can be a head coach and be a leader of men and a leader of a team and shoulder all that responsibility and be a motivator. But I think that Matt Patricia is one of those typical Belichick disciple defensive coordinator only, who's better as just a coordinator and get someone that is a true leader to be the head coach and a true motivator. I just don't think Matt Patricia is that kind of guy.
Yeah, I don't either, man. I mean, like you said, there's two different breeds. There's guys who can do it both ways, and guys, who can only be coordinators. And it's hard to be both. I mean,
Patricia looked so good when he had a guy like Bill Belichick, leading the team, and he could just focus on the defense. Now you put too much responsibility on his shoulders, and you're starting to see, with weird quotes and not having his team prepared that maybe this is too big for Matt Patricia.
Yeah, and I mean, he's a defensive coach, and yet he's a defensive mastermind, and his defense still is collapsing. It just doesn't make sense.
Yep. So on the first play of the second half, so Packers come out, they're up 17-14. First play of the second half, they hand it off to Aaron Jones, and he is gone. 75-yard touchdown. Extends their lead to 24-14. Again, this falls on coaching. You go into halftime, you want to make adjustments, come out ready to go, have some fiery locker room speech that has the team pumped up and ready to make adjustments and bring it in the second half. In the first play, they give up a 75-yard touchdown run, career-long touchdown run for Aaron Jones. Not a good sign for Detroit coming into the second half.
Yeah, and I mean, that right there is what really took the momentum out of the game.
Yeah, and like I said, they were up 14-3 not long ago, and just like that, early third quarter, and you're down 10, 24-14. That's going to take a lot of wind out of any team's sails.
Yeah, it's got to be tough being a Lions fan, man, I'll tell you.
I know. And then, so not only does the defense give up a touchdown on the first play, the offense comes out and they go 3-and-out to start the second half. No sense of urgency on either side of the ball. That's 100% coaching. The Packers get the ball back, 30-yard pass to Aaron Jones, who, tell me if you knew this, I mean, Aaron Jones is a great running back and had a great year last year, leading the league in rushing touchdowns. He looks like a pretty good pass receiving running back as well.
Yeah, I mean, he lets his game speak for itself.
Yeah, how good do you have Aaron Jones? Like, how high do you have Aaron Jones rated compared to other running backs in the league? Is he top 10, top 5? What do you think?
I think he's I'll give him top 3 or 4. I mean, obviously the best one is Christian McCaffrey.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm gonna go Alvin Kamara.
Okay.
And
got
then
Saquon and Zeke in there?
Zeke, I'm gonna go with 3rd, just because Zeke seems to be inconsistent at times.
Mm-hmm. He's got a great offensive line in Dallas.
Yeah, and then I'm going to go with Aaron Jones. I mean,
yeah,
Green Bay has an average offensive line, and he still, breaks free and gets 800 yards, and it's,
I'm guilty of sleeping on Aaron Jones. I didn't think he was that good. Being a Bears fan, I was a doubter of the Packers running back, but he's proven me wrong the last couple of years for sure. Rodgers gets sacked by linebacker Jamie Collins, forcing 3rd down and a punt instead of a field goal attempt. So a big sack here by Jamie Collins, one of the leaders of that defense. Detroit takes over on their own 5-yard line after a penalty pins them deep in their own territory. And then for whatever reason, Stafford came out of halftime and he just didn't have it. Stafford's first pass on first down is intercepted by Packers corner Chandon Sullivan and returned for a touchdown. So a pick six, a 3-and-out, and then a pick six by Stafford. Now you're down 31-14. Big Stafford mistake, a reckless throw without really looking to see if the guy was covered or not. And a huge mistake. I mean, down 31-14, that's about the game right there.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen Stafford make those mistakes in quite a few games, but
yeah,
it's. I mean, it seems like he knows his team, and he just didn't really care to play, in my opinion.
yeah, and that's the issues that some fans have with Stafford. Is like, yes, he's a great talent. Yes, he can make all the throws, but at times he makes kind of dumb, boneheaded decisions that result in major turnovers. That's a huge mistake. You can turn the ball over, you can throw an interception, but to throw a pick six like that, that's huge.
I'm dealing with the same thing in Indy right now. We have a quarterback who, has proven he can be great, but he just is a bonehead sometimes,
Yeah, sometimes it's very tough to overcome for a team. Turnovers are so valuable these days. So after jumping out to a 14-3 lead, the Lions now have given up 28 straight Green Bay points and find themselves down 17. Aaron Rodgers. So this was an interesting moment in the game and something we're going to have to keep our eye on all season. Right before the play, Matt LaFleur calls a timeout. Rodgers didn't like the timeout. He was seen yelling at the sideline at Matt LaFleur after taking a late timeout. He snapped the ball still and was audibly heard yelling, God damn it, and fuck, at the Green Bay sideline. Analyst Brock Heward, a former quarterback, says, I don't know why LaFleur's taking a timeout there. Maybe trust your Hall of Fame quarterback. There seems to be a little bit of a rift ever since the Packers hired Matt LaFleur between LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers. And then the Jordan Love draft pick only added fuel to that fire. For whatever reason, it seems like the GM Gutekunst and Matt LaFleur aren't very big fans of Aaron Rodgers, and Rodgers getting pissed off here. What do you think of that dynamic, and do you think that will be something that is an issue all season long?
Yeah, and I mean, you have to think, it goes back to when Mike McCarthy was there. Him and Rodgers really didn't see eye to eye either, and
yeah,
I feel like it's going to be a problem, but it's going to be brushed under the table because at the same time, Rodgers wants to win a ring, and that's what this season is going to be about. All their issues, I think, are going to be more exposed in the offseason.
How much longer do you think Rodgers stays in Green Bay? You think this is his last year?
Yes.
I agree.
I mean, because, like, if you go back to the Brady and Belichick breakup, Brady left after 1 year after all that arguing started happening. So,
yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I tend to agree. I think it's a 1-year thing, and Rodgers is going to want out. And I think there'll be enough drama throughout the season that will make him want to leave.
And there's a big fat door in Indianapolis that Aaron Rodgers can walk through. We will more than be welcome for him to come to Indy.
Yeah, that'd be pretty crazy if he goes to the Colts or wherever he goes. Aaron Rodgers is going to look different if he's in a New Jersey, and will make any team almost an automatic.
Denver, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Would make any team an automatic contender. What about Washington?
Washington, yeah, with Ron Rivera, but I said Denver because John Elway is slick and good at what he does. He was able to bring Manning there, so
yeah, yep. Well, I mean, who they have out there? They have the great Jeff Driscoll out there on Sunday, so I don't know if they want to replace him just yet.
Yeah, man, Jeff Driscoll kind of blew that game. They were in it for a minute.
Yep. Mason Crosby drills a 35-yarder, and the Packers are up 20 points, 34-14. Stafford, you get good and bad with Stafford. After the pick six, he fires a 24-yard touchdown pass to wide receiver Marvin Hall. cuts the lead to 34-21 early fourth quarter. But then a 40-yard pass from Rodgers to Marquez Valdez-Scantling as he beats rookie corner Jeff Okudah on the play. Not a great debut for Jeff Okudah. He was actually rated as one of the worst corners on the field on Sunday in week 2. What's your take on Jeff Okudah? Is this a minor speed bump in an otherwise very successful career? Or is this a warning sign that maybe Okudah is not as good as some people thought?
No, I think he's just rusty, again, to go along with the offseason and not being able to get that much training and practice in. And plus, he was coming off an injury is why he didn't play week 1. So,
yeah.
He just had a bad game.
Yeah, it's a good take, and it's tough to go up against Aaron Rodgers in your first NFL game. And I hope it's a mirage. I mean, I'm kind of torn because he is a Lion, so I don't want him to be really good against my Bears. But I also was on the record on the podcast as saying Okudah is the best corner of this draft class and has Revis-type potential. So I hope I don't really get that one very wrong. So we'll see.
Oh, man, you went kind of far there.
I did go kind of far. But
I liked Okudah.
I liked Okudah coming out, man. I thought everything that I saw on tape and in the combine and everything, he looked damn good. So we'll see.
I mean, Ohio State guys are usually good.
Yeah. Aaron Jones, 14-yard rushing touchdown plus a 2-point conversion, and the Packers are back up 42-21. This Packers offense is rolling, 40-plus points in both games to start the season. You think they're going to keep this up all year and be one of the best offenses in football?
I honestly do, but then again, the Packers are known to go into big games and choke. So,
yeah.
I mean, it's 50-50. It depends on if Aaron Rodgers can blow the distraction that's going on in Green Bay under the table, or if eventually, it's going to get to the team and it breaks down Rodgers and we eventually see Jordan Love.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see how the season goes. Are you in the camp? A lot of people are talking about Aaron Rodgers pissed off because the Jordan Love move. Maybe this fuels his fire and he goes for MVP this year. You think there's a possibility of that too?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you never want to get, in the words of Stephen A., the bad man angry.
Yep. Or as Chris Sims would say, oh, Aaron Rodgers. But whatever. We'll see what happens. The Bears are coming for that throne this year.
Yeah, you just don't want to admit it because he's a Packers.
Exactly. I've been dealing with Rodgers for far too long. So Stafford called for intentional grounding, but on the next play, sacked by Rashawn Gary. Just a rough day overall for Matthew Stafford. And the Packers win 42-21 to advance to 2-0. The Lions fall to 0-2. Career-high rushing yards for Aaron Jones, 168 yards. And Aaron Jones combines for 236 yards and 3 touchdowns. What an impressive day for Aaron Jones. Incredible numbers out of him. When's the last time? I mean, what do you think of that? 236 and 3 touchdowns. And they hung that on Patricia's defense, too. Not a good look for Detroit. I mean, another thing, all the talk was about the Lions secondary, but they got exposed in the run game.
Yeah, and I mean, next to Aaron Rodgers, Aaron Jones is their next best player, and maybe he didn't need another receiver in the draft if Aaron Jones is going to keep playing like that.
Yeah, if he's going to keep playing he's also being a receiving threat out of the backfield. He's not a bad weapon to have. Stafford, 20 for 33, 244 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick 6. The Lions have started 0-2 for the 5th time with Matthew Stafford as the quarterback. Not much in the running game for Detroit. They gave up on that pretty quick. So just not a great game for the Lions overall. Next up, the 0-2 Lions will take on the 2-0 Cardinals. What chance do you give the Lions getting a win in week 3?
Yeah, man. I mean, looking at their schedule, it doesn't get any easier. So
Yeah.
I have a feeling they're gonna start 0-3, possibly 0-4.
Yeah, at the Cardinals, then week 4 they host the Saints. Easily could be 0-4 going into their bye week. And both
0-5 if the Jags play how they played against Indy.
Yep. This is a bold prediction I'm gonna make. And this is gonna be unprecedented because when's the last time we've seen this? I think if the Lions start the year 0-4, Matt Patricia will be fired by week 5.
You think so?
I think so. I think this is going to be one of those years where we get a coach fired very early because there was high expectations for the Lions. Maybe not nationally, but at least in their own circle, Lions fans thought this is the year that they can contend in the division. You know, they were saying the Vikings took a step back, the Bears took a step back, maybe even the Packers. If they're talking like that and their fans are already pissed off. If they start 0-4 going into that bye week, there's going to be so much noise in Detroit saying fire Patricia. We'll see, how the Ford family takes it, but that's my bold prediction that Patricia could be out week 5.
And I mean, there was so much hype behind him. They even made shirts and hats talking about "In Patricia We Trust" and
Yeah,
all that kind of stuff, man. And it's just crazy, but I don't see them letting him go until the end of the season just because I feel like once they get past this gauntlet here, they might finish better because it starts to get a little bit easier.
yeah. Do you think so? I'm not a big fan of firing coaches midseason either. But do you think the Lions should have been proactive and fired Matt Patricia this last offseason instead of going into this year with him again?
I mean, this is only his third year, right?
I believe so. I believe it's his third year.
Yeah, I mean, most coaches really don't develop a good team until their fourth year into it. So I still believe in the guy. I mean, I'm not a Lions fan, but I believe in the guy. And I mean, who can you really go out and really change that franchise? I mean,
there's guys. There's guys. I'll tell you a couple. I mean, so if I'm the Lions, and if I want to fire Patricia midseason, I could promote Darrell Bevel. Put Darrell Bevel as interim head coach for the rest of the year. He's got a lot of experience, offensive guy. And then you know who I'm looking at to bring in? You can either go young, up and coming, future star head coach, or you could go old school, proven winner, a lot of history in the league. So you can either go offensive coordinator from the Chiefs, Eric Bieniemy. That's a decision that I would go personally. I'm a big fan of his, and you put him with Matthew Stafford, who knows what could happen there. Or you can go old school and bring in a package, go like Marvin Lewis, head coach, bring back Hugh Jackson as offensive coordinator, get that old Bengals coaching staff going with when they had Carson Palmer, Andy Dalton, and those kind of guys. Andy Dalton, AJ Green, those teams made the playoffs 4 years in a row. Possibly they could do that in Detroit.
I can see that. Or, I mean, go out and get a John Fox or
there you go, John Fox.
A Rex Ryan.
What about Jim Harbaugh? He's available.
Yeah, I mean, he is a Michigan guy, and I mean,
yep.
There's not to mention Lincoln Riley from Oklahoma.
There you go. What about Urban Meyer?
Man, I don't think Meyer's waiting.
He's too much of a front runner to choose Detroit.
He's waiting for Brian Kelly to be fired so he can come to South Bend.
Yeah, I mean, so you can see we started, going through the list. There's quite a few big name guys they could bring in that in my opinion, would be better than Patricia.
Yeah, man, and it's just so you wouldn't think maybe the Lions would go in the direction and get another Belichick guy in Josh McDaniels?
Potentially, but I think they're going to be so fed up with the Patriot way after this. It depends if they fire both the GM and the head coach at the same time. If they just get rid of the head coach, then that GM, who's a Patriot guy, might be like, let's bring in Josh McDaniels. But if they're smart, they would clean house, get rid of the GM, get rid of the head coach, get rid of all those Patriot players they brought in for whatever reason, the Detroit Patriots. Go bring in a new GM, bring in a up-and-coming offensive guru in Eric Bieniemy, who's worked with Patrick Mahomes the last couple of years, and do it that way. That's a decision that I would go. I'm a big Eric Bieniemy fan, so we'll see if that's the decision the Lions want to go. I'm also very high on Hugh Jackson and that Marvin Lewis coaching tree, so we'll see.
Yeah, and I mean, that's a good prediction, but I see the Lions sticking with Patricia to the end of the season.
All right. Yeah, that's going to be good because we're going to find out soon. Week 5 is not that far away, so that's my first bold prediction of the season there.
They're going to start saying, though, well, with COVID going on and he didn't have a chance to practice with his team. And
yeah,
that's ultimately what I think saves his job for this season.
All right. I could see that too. And then the Packers improved to 2-0, and they'll be going to New Orleans to take on the 1-1 Saints on primetime Sunday Night Football on NBC in Week 3. That's going to be a big game. A lot of eyes will be on that. Do you see the Packers going in to New Orleans and coming away 3-0? I personally do not. I think the Saints can get that win, and both teams will be sitting at 2-1. Big loss for the Saints on Monday night to the Raiders. Do you think they bounce back in Week 3?
Yeah, I think they're going to go in and play angry.
Yeah.
And Drew Brees is not going to have the performance 2 weeks in a row that he had last night. So
yeah, and they should get Michael Thomas back. That's a big part of their offense too.
Yeah, I guess the Packers doctor is the one who's going to determine whether Thomas plays or not.
Oh, okay. Really?
They were having the Green Bay Packers doctor look at him to give his opinion or something. I think that's what they were talking about. But
nice.
Yeah,
I don't think it's that big of an ankle injury, so I do expect Michael Thomas back soon. Hopefully for Week 3, because the Saints need it. They're going to need that against a Packers offense that's putting up 42.5 points per game so far this year.
Yeah, if the Packers win, they are a serious threat.
Yeah, yep. So go Saints. Who dat?
Go Pack, go.
All right, well, good shit as always, Dustin. It was fun breaking this game down. We're going to have more coming out tomorrow. Appreciate you coming on, and good insight as always.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yep. So we'll keep these episodes coming out. Appreciate the support. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let us know what you think. Have a great week, guys. Peace out.